Hi, I'm your host Satwant, and welcome to this episode with Mike Savoff from Rush. Before you listen to the show, please note that the audio version of this podcast is available on the web. Type thepayments.show into your web browser, and you'll get a list of all the episodes with links to your favourite podcast player. Lastly, if you want to join a discussion about this episode, please go to my Substack. The web address for that is thepaymentsshow.substack.com. You will also find the PDF transcript of this episode there as well. Thanks, and enjoy the episode. Mike, welcome to The Payment Show.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
Where are you joining from today?
I'm joining from the seaside of Bulgaria in my hometown of Varna. I'm here for the week and enjoying some time with family, so it's a comfortable space around me.
Excellent. That's one part of the world that I have no idea about. What's it like there?
Well, we do have some of the most beautiful seaside parts of the entire Black Sea coast. You have a lot of rocky spots or a lot of, free open areas without any population where you can just go out and enjoy pure nature without anything else.
That sounds like my kind of place, to be honest. Worth visiting, so thanks. How's the temperature there right now?
Oh,
You
it's
get good
perfect.
summers?
It's perfect. It's getting a bit cold, like you can feel winter coming, but it's still nice during the day.
Good stuff. Well, I'm sure we're going to have a great conversation ahead. This is one of my favorite types of episodes where we're really focusing on sales conversions and helping businesses to grow more from what they have already. So it's going to be great to talk about Rush. And I'm going to start by giving a quick overview. So first of all, I'll introduce you. So Mike Savoff, you're the marketing strategist at rush.app. And the app helps e-commerce brands increase revenue by turning one-time buyers into repeat customers. And the way that Rush enables that, it heavily integrates with Shopify, and the app enables shipping notifications and dashboards for customers to track their purchases. But with the added benefit, when they get to those pages, they're beautifully created, high-converting sales pages in themselves, which gives businesses the opportunities to upsell and cross-sell. So before we get any deeper, is that an accurate description of the company?
Absolutely perfect. I think I'm gonna copy that and use it instead of our messaging. That's a perfect summary. It's a great description, and I think the most important takeaway from this is that the main goal of this is to improve your customer loyalty, which in turn improves your customer lifetime value. That's the big idea of having a better tracking experience in your Shopify store.
Yeah. Your homepage has got some really interesting stats, and I wanted to highlight a couple. So a typical open rate of a marketing email, so 19% of them are opened. But when it comes to shipping emails, the open rate's around 58%, which makes sense because obviously people are keen to know where their purchases are, which is sensible. But the shocking stat for me was that using your solution, you've seen an average of $1.12 earned per shipping email that's emailed out by your customers. And in totality, that's generated around $10 million plus of post-purchase extra revenue for your customers. You've got 1,200 Shopify brands using your solution. And you're seeing some crazy stuff like 7 times ROI from delivery notifications. So there are some amazing stats there. Maybe you wanted to dive into a couple of those, and what kind of customers use your solution to get those kind of stats? What kind of industries and players have you got?
Yeah, so we do have a lot of stores that are doing drop shipping, and their results are amazing because of our partnerships and integrations with other key players like Geesers, and they really enjoy Rush. It's very well tailored for this kind of a use case. But the best and the biggest results we see is just from D2C brands, very often in the clothing industry, fashion apparel, jewelry as well. And the main reason for that is that with shipping, the one of the most important things to remember is that after a customer places an order, the moment they hit confirm, there's a feeling called delivery anxiety. And so they get anxious. They wonder, where is my order? I'm sure everyone listening has has heard this question quite a bit. And this delivery anxiety, this is the thing that makes them refresh their email, look for text messages, and wait for the next email update. And that emotion right there is the reason why the moment they open an email and they see, okay, my order has left the country or has reached a certain checkpoint, and that's excitement. And when they see that combined with additional products that they might not have seen while they were originally making their purchase, that gives them the reason to come back and buy more and spend more.
Yeah. Coming back to some stats that you've got on your site, your service can reduce tracking inquiries by almost 78% for businesses, for those "where is my order" emails. And that saves businesses up to 15 hours a week on customer service tickets. So huge cost savings there in terms of operations. And,
Definitely, yeah.
and I wanted to ask about two two sides of it, really, in terms of the upsells and cross-sells on those delivery pages. Would you say that, first of all, you're making up for a deficiency of websites, businesses' websites, because they don't really have good recommendation engines, perhaps? And secondly, it's just too time consuming for them to figure out what to offer as an upsell. So do you have some kind of algorithm that picks the products from their sites?
Yeah, exactly. Upselling is a difficult topic because, I'm sure you know about the stats that, 30% of e-commerce revenue generally comes from upselling. And but what I've noticed also in my own experience is that exactly it's a lot of merchants who are trying to use upsells. They mostly configure about 4 to 5 funnels, and they just leave them. And I understand that because it's quite time consuming, and that's not even the only problem. There's a lot of guesswork involved in upselling because you need to know exactly what people need at each point of the journey so that you can really offer the most relevant upsell, whether it's before checkout or after checkout. And so all of this effort, especially if you have like 500 products in your store or 1,000, you need months to set up all of those upsells, and then even more to continue optimizing them. And so what we do at Rush is we include the upsells within the product's pricing. We don't charge additionally for the upselling feature. And what we do is we give merchants the option to choose between automation, like just an algorithm that finds the best possible upsells based on the order that the customer made, and it just recommends the most relevant products on its own without merchants having to do anything. Or you have the option to choose your own products that you want to display on the order tracking page. So we have those both options covered.
Following through to that, you got repeat customers spending 33% more than new customers. And I wanted to dig into that a bit. So one of the ways to obviously sell to casual customers that might be coming across a website is through abandoned cart reminders to customers who kind of left things there as they were. And one of the main reasons for that is it could be a convoluted buying process. There's no Apple Pay or anything like that on a mobile phone. So they think, oh, well, it's too difficult to enter my card number or get it from my wallet upstairs. So there's that side of things. So do you find that you've got almost a double boost with your customers? Because if they're already on Shopify, that massively increases sales conversions because Shop Pay and the kind of payment systems they use are really convenient on mobile. And then you've got a double boost with your delivery notification pages as well. So do you find that the uplift is like twice as much as, say, implementing your solution on a WordPress site, whether you could even do that?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really sure about WordPress with
Well, another way
Shopify.
of putting it is just a website that doesn't have Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, even if you can do it in WordPress, I'm sure it's going to be very difficult to get everything running. But for Shopify, definitely the best part of that is that through Apple Pay and through the amazing solutions that Shopify Order offers out of the box, when you combine that with a great order tracking experience, that just, compounds everything together, and the customer just enjoys the shopping experience itself, and then they get even more surprised and relieved once they see that they can track their order at any point throughout the world. And this is a feeling that they want to keep getting again and again, and that's what builds trust, and that's what builds customer loyalty, and that's what makes people come back again and again. And the truth is that the best part of this whole benefit and the way it impacts the business is that brands spend a lot of money to acquire customers. And if they're a one-time buyer, maybe you get an ROI, but once they continue shopping, everything else after that, after you've had the return on your original investment to acquire the customer, everything after that is pure revenue and profit. Because once customers start spending more, that's what actually scales your profitability. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Your post-purchase average order value, I've noticed, is 10 to 15% more with upsells and cross-sells. So that's a huge difference alone. And I wanted to move into a bit more of the details of the solution, at least one part of it. So in terms of the notifications, you've got smart emails and SMS notifications. But what I liked about your solution is how there's a lot of intelligence baked into it for things like customer reviews. So I'm sure many people listening will be familiar that you buy something on Amazon, and the day after it's delivered, or maybe the 2 days after, you're asked to review it, and it may still be in the box. So you can let your customers do things like tweak the actual delivery dates and then maybe add X number of days for a product review, or maybe even a month. So maybe you can talk about that in a moment as well. And also you support over 600 carriers, so FedEx, DHL, Royal Mail in the UK. But your website did mention that as carrier delays are on the rise, it may affect that anxiety you mentioned earlier. So it'd be good for you to talk about those two things as well.
Yeah, I want to start with the carriers because, yeah, exactly, there will be possible delays, and that's why we actually have 1,300 carriers right now available, and we're growing them every day. We're always trying to add more because we feel that things are changing and the markets are shifting, and you always need carrier support so that you can avoid those kinds of downturns when you have issues with delays. And so that's why we try to constantly add new carriers. And if anyone notices a carrier that's missing, but they need it, we usually give a timetable of about 1 week where we can implement that carrier, depending on their own API support. So so yeah, we really try to focus on our career support. I think it's one of the best things about Rush, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. That it's the most, you can't have order tracking without the carriers and without their support. So that's why it's super important to us. And about the reviews, it's, yeah, I'm sure you've also had this experience. Even if you make an order and you love the product and you remember that they sent you an email about, asking you for a review or something like that, but I'm sure that a lot of people forget, not because they don't want to leave a review, but just, life happens, I guess. And so one way we try to overcome that is we don't just use the emails for asking customers to leave a review. We add the option to add a link to each product you had in the order, and each product has a dedicated link to leave a review for that exact product. And we add that to the order tracking page. So this way, when you receive the emails, all the emails that remind you, or the text messages if you're using Yotpo, SMS Bump, or an app like that, and when you're opening each email, you see that, you see the option that you can leave a review. And once you add more touch points to that experience, it's way more likely that your customers are actually going to leave you that review.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an area where there's got to be a lot of improvement. I mean, it's easier to go through your history on Amazon because everybody almost has an account. But and you're also logged in, so that's the other thing. If you buy something ad hoc from some Instagram ad, which goes through to a Shopify store, if you don't have to create a username and password to leave the review, that's good. But if you do, it's highly unlikely that person is going to leave a review, right?
Exactly.
I want to focus on the customer side now. And the benefits from the end user side are quite significant because I'd imagine your solution builds a lot of trust, because if you've got a high quality dashboard to look at, you've got a delivery progress bar and regular updates, it really gives customers the feeling that this business knows what they're doing. They've got everything under control. And we know it's running through an API, and the delivery people and the business is looking after everything, but it just gives that extra reassurance, right? And I'm sure, do you find that that's even more reason for people to keep coming back to the brands that use your solution versus the ones that don't?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We've had a ton of reviews that really focus on appreciating how much their own customers love their brand way more, just because they know where their order is at any time. And it's for us, it's very important to turn that delivery anxiety into delivery anticipation, because that's a positive emotion. And it's those small things, like when you look at the grand scale of things, you might think that order tracking is one of those things that's, yeah, it's normal, like most people probably do it, and it's nothing super exciting or amazing. But the truth is that there are still a ton of brands that are missing out on that, and a lot of them, they haven't really gone through exploring the entire journey that you can create by simply implementing order tracking solutions like Rush, because you have a ton of integrations with most of the popular Shopify apps, which opens up a lot of opportunities to create these relationship building touch points and to turn the whole thing into a deeper connection to your customer. It's a very important thing to think about the emotional side of marketing e-commerce and driving that customer trust. And with order tracking, it's like you don't let the customer experience dip even for a second, because you know that once they complete the order, you're there for them, and they don't wonder even for a second, okay, what's going on now? Has it left? When is it gonna arrive? How do I plan my day? What do I do?
That's a
And
big
you
one,
just,
actually. How do
yeah,
I plan my
exactly.
day?
Exactly. Yeah. And you just give clarity. You give information that's very important at the right exact moment. And the happiest customers are informed customers.
Yeah, totally agree. I'd love for you to talk about some case studies that you've got. I saw some great ones. You've got an apparel company, Combat Iron. They saw 50% return on their revenue with tracking and shipping notifications. And Brazen Boutique, 3,200% ROI with Rush automation. So, and you've got a ton more as well. So maybe you could pick on one or two that maybe your favorites or the biggest impact that you found.
Yeah, I love the Brazen case study a lot. First, because it's in the clothing industry, which is one of the most competitive industries. Everyone is trying to join that party, and they're still. And what I like the most is that they still manage to stand out, and I think one of their best achievements with Rush was the email flows, the shipping flows for each order that they were able to create with our integration with Klaviyo. So they generated $12,000 for just a couple of months. I think I don't really remember the exact timeline, but it was a very short period of time, and they generated 5 digits just from an integration between Rush and Klaviyo, just by sending a few emails. And the ROI of over 3,000%. That's a great thing to have, especially when you consider that Rush is a platform that you can integrate literally in minutes, or you can have one of our guys do it for you. So yeah.
And just to build on that point, you've got prices starting from $9 a month for 100 shipments, $99 a month for 2,000 shipments, the top tier 199 for 5,000 shipments, and then you've got enterprise pricing on top of that. But the value for money based on just that one case study, I mean, the investment is almost zero in the grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the more the it's cool because the more you make, the less you pay, of course. And the fact is that with Rush, you just you just generate additional sales from every customer. So it's like kind of Rush helping you get to that point just by being enabled on your store. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, that's a very important thing when we were figuring out our pricing. We really wanted to give the most possible the biggest volume of shipments per month that we could afford so that we could give the customers, the Shopify merchants, the upper hand so that they have enough room to play with.
Yeah. And is your solution offered to any Shopify customer worldwide?
Yep, absolutely. No matter where you are, as I said, we support over 1,300 shipping carriers globally, and it's growing day by day. So yeah, doesn't matter where you are in the world, Rush is there for you.
Excellent. One question I'd like to ask, based on my personal experience, some shipping companies, and I think Royal Mail do this in the UK a lot, you could receive tracking updates. You will have the tracking update that says it's shipped, and then all the other 5 updates in between will arrive 5 minutes before they actually deliver your package. So I don't know whether you find that's quite common amongst bigger and older companies, or what's being done to resolve that. I just thought that would be a nice side conversation to have.
Yeah, we do get a couple of messages here and there about Royal Mail. It's
Or
it's very
maybe it's just them then.
no, maybe it's not just them. Like it's technology. Sometimes it has its own problems, you know. But yeah, it's usually it does happen for large scale operations because Royal Mail it's not just a software platform that you can easily tweak. It's a much bigger thing. So yeah, sometimes there's a drawback, but at Rush we just try to work with what we've got and do the best of it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, they are an old company, so they try their best, I guess. Fair enough. So you answered one of my questions, which was how quickly can customers get started with your solution? You've already answered that. It can be within minutes, or you can even have your own staff helping out. Is there anything important that you wanted to get across to people listening who what I might have missed?
Well, yeah, I would love to spread the message about basically caring for your customers and trying to be there as much as possible at any point of the journey because to me personally throughout my own experience in Shopify, which it's nearly 10 years now, what I found out is that the most important and crucial metric or KPI is your customer lifetime value. Like you will never make a mistake if you focus on growing your customer lifetime value. Maybe you're focusing right now on improving your conversion rate on a certain product page or something else, which I'm not saying it's not important, but yeah, you will never make a mistake if you focus on customer lifetime value because that is the single metric that grows any other important metric. Your revenue goes up, your AOV goes up, and most important, your profitability goes up because you're getting more out of the marketing spend that your business has, which is growing day by day, and it's getting even more difficult to get customers. So it's just very important to make the most of each customer that lands on your store.
Before I move on to some topical discussions, I wanted to ask, where do you guys fit in with some of your competition? Because I'm sure there's not one solution for shipping tracking. I don't know how many there are, but wanted to understand the differentiation if maybe somebody listening is just looking at this area in general and hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of great order tracking solutions out there, and each of them has its own pros and cons. What we try to do at Rush as much as possible is, like I mentioned earlier, the carrier support is the first very important pillar that we try to build our success on and the success of our customers. So I think that's one of the reasons why Rush customers love the product so much, because they see that even if the time comes to find another carrier, it's either already there from our constant effort to add new carriers, or they see that they can have it available within days, literally. And every time we're on a call with a prospect or a new customer who wants to find out more about the product, the moment we mention how many carriers we actually support, their face just lights up, and it's amazing. That's the one thing that's really a differentiating factor for us. The other thing is the branding and customization of the order tracking page. We have a drag and drop builder that's really super simple to use, and I actually enjoy it a lot, and it just makes building your tracking page fun. And you can just imagine, wow, you're adding your upsells and cross sells, and you can just imagine, oh my god, my customers are gonna love this, they're gonna buy this and this and that. So the branding of and effortless personalization of the tracking page is another very big reason why Rush customers really love the product.
Actually, that's an important note. I read somewhere on your site that you don't send customers to a subdomain somewhere else. The tracking pages is within the business's domain. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's your store name slash track my order, or whatever you want to call it.
Right. So the end user has no idea that Rush even exists.
Nope, nope.
Okay, that's great. And you were going to say something else as well, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, the I think the third thing that really makes Rush stand out a lot is the way it's built for the Shopify ecosystem. With Shopify, partnerships and integrations are at the heart of the entire ecosystem. And what we try to do is we play nice with everyone, and we have all the major and most important integrations there, like Klaviyo. Soon we're gonna be announcing another big partnership that I'm not gonna mention yet. And by having all of this, by having all your favorite apps just available, like with a couple of clicks, that you can make even more out of those apps, that's I think the final biggest, one of the biggest benefits of Rush.
Great. It would be great to hear about the founding story of the company. Like, how did Rush come about? Why is it in Bulgaria of all places? And it'd be just really interesting to hear that story.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a cool story. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have the full picture yet because I'm relatively new to the team. I joined just a couple of weeks ago. I do know it's a fun story. What I do know is that, why Bulgaria out of all places? The truth is that Bulgaria very quickly became a place where a lot of important software businesses were started. One of them was SMS Bump. And once SMS Bump popped out on the radar, and everyone just became so inspired by the success, and then people just they saw that it's possible, and a lot of developers and product managers, they started building things, and Rush was just one of those products. And basically, as it grew, it attracted not only merchants but also investment. And that's why it's been a wild ride so far. And my goal here is to basically take it to the next step, to the next level.
Sounds good. Sounds like you're at the early part of a massive wave.
Exactly.
You might get acquired by Shopify. Who knows?
Not saying anything.
If I see you sailing around on a yacht one day, I know why.
Oh, I'm gonna invite you over.
That'd be great. Love to. One final question. A lot of people now who are experts in the retail space are saying that the next gold rush is in the B2B online e-commerce space, and was wondering, would it be quite straightforward to integrate your solution into that? Or maybe you've done it for a couple of customers, perhaps?
I'm not sure I know about B2B customers right now. Maybe we have. I will need to follow up on that. But I don't think it's gonna be a big issue. Like I as long as the tech is there and it's still within Shopify, I'm sure that we will be able to support, a lot of large scale operations, B2B, B2C. So I'm definitely optimistic about that. I would love to see that.
I just had this vision of, during the lockdown when that massive ship got stuck in the Suez Canal. I just have this vision of your solution sending out 500,000 notifications a week when all those containers are stuck.
I'm just lucky I wasn't part of the company back then. That's what I can say.
It was funny, as a side note, we went to a DIY store around the time that happened. And I just was making some chit chat with the checkout assistant. And she said, "Oh, there's no tape measures because all of the tape measures in the world are made in Taiwan." And nobody knew that until nobody in the UK who was in the building trade could get a tape measure.
Oh
And
my
she said it
god.
was all on that boat in the Suez Canal. So
Oh my god. That's yeah, that's a
too,
wild story.
too much
Everything
concentration
relies.
of risk.
Yeah, yeah. Our most of our worlds actually relies on shipping. So it's a very important thing to keep in mind.
Definitely. Okay, so let's finish on one of my favorite topics around the future. So what's on the cards in the next 6 to 12 months for Rush? If you can talk about any features or give us a sneak peek, and also where can people meet you if you're attending any conferences or anything like that?
Yeah, what I can say about the future right now, the thing I know for sure is that a lot of new, very important integrations are coming to Rush. That's gonna make everything skyrocket even more in terms of being way easier to send notifications to your customers, not only through email, but through other channels as well. And also we really want to expand our carrier support to target parts of the world where you might not have the best support, but you do have a thriving market there. So that's one of the things that we're definitely working on right now. And for the rest, we'll just have to wait and see.
Fantastic. Well, I think you've got a blog on your site where people can keep up to date with what's going on. So I'll put all the links to the site and everything in the show notes. And one final thing, would like to finish on what cool piece of content are you watching or reading or listening to right now? I can start with this one. So I'm watching We Crashed on Apple TV, which is the story of the rise and fall of WeWork, and it's a kind of dramatized version of real events. So that's really good if anyone wants something good to watch.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm gonna ask you to send me a link or something. Yeah, I love right now. I do love the microconf channel on YouTube. It has a lot of amazing episodes and content about building B2B SaaS basically. And one particular episode that I'm very hooked on right now is the one with Patrick Campbell from Profitwell. So there's a lot of smart people there sharing a lot of amazing stories that are truly inspiring, and they're giving you a lot of insights that you would you just wish you knew like 5 years ago. And yeah, that's one of my favorites right now.
Great.
Microconf.
I've not heard of Microconf, so that's a YouTube channel.
Yep, yep.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out. Okay, Mike. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I can imagine you're a very busy person, so thank you. And I'll put all the links to how to get in touch with you in the show notes. And all the best to you and your team in the future.
Thank you. It was great having this conversation. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. No worries.